A great dish provides not only good flavors, but also a great story behind it. Over the past few months, you've shared your family culinary wisdom with me, and today we're going to share it with everybody in the community. Recipe submissions this time are among the best I've seen so far, especially towards the end. Even though you can't tell from my tone of speech, I'm extremely excited.
So excited! So excited!
Our first recipe is definitely going to come from our Ligma gangsters. You guys have my personal email, and thank you for keeping it so clean. Carl from Boston is sharing his mother's 1954 recipe, and it was written on a Hunt's tomato can sauce label. His mother is turning 91. Happy birthday, ma'am. If by the time you're 100 and I still don't have a girlfriend, can you adopt me into your family? And Carl gave us the recipe on these like postcards and stuff. Here are all the ingredients in a picture. And you already know Carl's from Boston because damn, this looks icy. So just like a deep dish pizza, this is essentially it's a casserole. The first layer is rice. Carl uses minute rice. I'm using 45-minute rice. Then we're supposed to add a little water and then corn. But I'm just gonna add straight up corn and the corn water. A can of Hunt's tomato sauce, half a can of water, a layer of chopped onions, green bell pepper, black corn pepper, and some ground beef, which Carl calls it Hamburg. We'll season the Hamburg very well. Another can of sauce, now a quarter can of water, and the top layer will be halved bacon all over. Cover with foil into the oven at 350 for an hour. It's starting to look really good, just like the sweatshirt I'm wearing. Back into the oven for 30 minutes. Looking so much better after the bacon crisped up a little bit. Smelling very good, as you can see on my shirt. Let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. The flavors are so simple, American, but work so well. You got the aromatics, beef, bacon, and the comforting corn flavor all sitting on a bed of rice. Definitely something I can see myself eating every day. I'll give it an 8.8 out of 10. Guys, remember like a month ago, Uncle Roger reacted to our fried rice video and got roasted so hard I thought I was gonna be the turkey for Thanksgiving this year.
This nephew talked like he had 1% battery. Uncle Roger feel like I need to find charger for you. Just sounds so miserable. Are you sure you need fried rice? Uncle Roger think what you need is reason to live.
This is all really funny teasing and all, but he says something that got to me personally. A lot of effort into it, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, if only you put as much effort into your merch.
That hurts because he's completely right. So I got my act together and came up with 2 brand new items. With the help from a lot of channel members, the sweatshirt and long sleeve actually have really good quality. Besides the cute Ligma fork on top, the inside lining is super like fuzzy and cozy, and the cotton of the long sleeve is pretty much like heavy cream on your skin, bro. The center design of both items is perfect for you to throw on an open jacket, looking very stylish and stuff. It's available today. You should check it out in the link in the description. This is called a meat pie and Michigan sauce. It's French-Canadian, but Sarah's family is from upstate New York, near the border of Quebec. I've lived in Ithaca. Upstate New York is... alright. Apparently, you have to boil the ground pork with some sage, and then bake it, finally top it off with the Michigan sauce, which is like mostly ketchup. I'm gonna add my own twist to this recipe. It's gonna taste similar. All this ground pork laid into the bowl. Instead of boiling it to make it really dry, we'll season it thoroughly to bake it into a pie. Do you like that rhyme, bro? Pepper, paprika, onion, salt, and ketchup. We'll fill out a pre-made pie crust from the Pillsbury Murder's Doughboy, and for some reason, it just feels right to top it with a layer of cheese. Who needs cheese? So overrated. Bake in the oven at 350 till golden. I now see why Sarah asked us to boil the pork before. Maybe it could have dried it out a little bit. No need to mention, you can already tell it's kinda soggy. I keep forgetting how juicy pork is. I'm sure the original recipe is great, but I changed it so much, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10. Jeremy over here is from China. He's introducing us to 2 dishes. Tomato egg and mantou. So obviously we're gonna go with the mantou. 120 grams of AP flour, half a teaspoon of instant yeast, 65 grams of lukewarm milk, half a tablespoon of sugar. Just combine everything and knead the dough for like a really long time and rest it for even longer. Almost more than 2 hours of resting. Fold it a little bit and the surface is still super crusty. Like my face. On top of a parchment paper, we'll start steaming it. Gentle heat, I don't know how long, so I'll go for 15. Now it looks like it has stretch marks. like my ass. It looks sort of light and fluffy, I guess. When we split it open, it bounces right back. It's alright, that's all I can say. It tastes like a burger bun without the crust. I feel like it'll serve as a great canvas for something that's super flavorful and strong, but by itself, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. This is an Australian mac and cheese, and Sasuke really wants that smoke because the main ingredient of this mac and cheese sauce is smoky cheese. Whatever seasoning I desire. I like that sentence. The smoky cheese I'm going with today is this huge block of sogoni cheese. Usually when people come over, they bring me sogoni, fresh or smoked. Fresh to make kachipuri, of course. The smoked ones, I don't really know how to use it up, so I'm gonna do it here. The only other ingredient for the sauce is evaporated milk. The concept of milk and evaporating reminds me of my dad. We'll lay down our pasta for the mac and cheese. I think corkscrew is the best shape for mac and cheese. In goes the shredded sogoni, mix it up, another layer. And on top I'm gonna season with smoked paprika, garlic, and oregano. We'll just bake till the top is golden. You can broil it if you want. And my apartment kind of smells like my clothes after a camping trip. The smokiest mac and cheese I've ever made. Let's give it a taste. It's a nice change of pace from the normal super cheesy creamy pasta. Smoked cheeses are usually a little dry. The sauce feels a lot lighter. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It is the soup I'm obsessed with ever since I saw the Pickle Rick episode, Solenia. It is a pickle soup with meat in it, has a sour flavor profile. And this one is supposed to be like a super authentic one. Things to chop include onions, black olives, I actually really like it. And the recipe said beef on the bone. I don't have that, but I have beef franks that kind of look like bones. So I'll chop that up along with some sausage. Into a hot pan with some oil, start sauteing the onions. Once you see some color, we'll put in the beef on the bone. Beef on the bone follows that. And then black olives, pickle slices, saute everything together to get it really hot, then deglaze with a little bit of white wine, fill it up with beef stock. We're supposed to saute with some tomato paste at the end. I don't have that, but I'm replacing it with some pizza sauce. And I assure you, if you ask any Slavic grandma about Solenia, these substitutions are acceptable. After 10 minutes, we'll take it out. Well, this might even be a little too questionable for me. I totally forgot to get sour cream. But you know what else is creamy and sour? My buttermilk. I guess it's leaving fried chicken for the first time to go straight into my Solenia. Well, I've always liked sour food, so I might be a little biased. We make some sort of pickle soup from the Slavic region every single time we do this video series. This one's definitely the best one so far, just the complexity of flavor and the texture of the ingredients. I wish I had sour cream though. Even without it, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you to all the members that support this channel and inspire us with your story. If you want to be a part of it, join through the link below. Non-member submissions who I appreciate to the same amount. This one from Wayland, Florida is called Sausage Balls. Basically, we mix up sausage, cheese, and Bisquick and bake it. So as always, we gotta start with stroking the sausage to get it to come out of the casing. Shredded Kobe Jack and Bisquick as the binder. It's looking a little dry, so I'm gonna add a splash of my roommate's milk. And then we'll combine everything together. I'm just glad the mixture is not brown. Bake for 350 at golden brown. It looks like a piece of poorly fried chicken, but it smells like a greatly fried chicken. I'm starting to warm up to it, so let's give it a taste. It tastes like a perfectly baked sausage roll, except somebody chewed it up for you and fed it into your mouth like a mama bird. I say that in the nicest way possible.
In the nicest way possible.
Sure, you could say that after any sentence. I'd like to murder you. In the nicest way possible.
Overall, this is a great hack. Very easy to make. Tastes great. 9 out of 10. I might start making it regularly for breakfast. Elena is from Alaska. Her grandma made a lot of depression recipes, one of them being poor man's chow mein.
Ah, now that was some fantastic chow mein. And before you say that sounded racist, you can ask the waiter how they say it.
She said it's a simple dish, but I gotta follow the instructions to a T or it turns out gross. What are you insinuating here about my instruction following skills, Elena? We're starting by browning on medium-high heat a pound of ground meat. I'm using the leftover pork and beef from earlier because I'm a sustainable boy like that. Then we'll brown some onion, garlic, and a lot of Cajun spices. After sauteing it for a little bit, we'll add a whole can of condensed cream of mushroom. We'll pour on top half a cup of white rice, followed by a whole cup of beef stock. We'll stir that in. I'll thoroughly add a little more liquid if you feel like you need it. Into the oven at 350 for 50 minutes. After 50 minutes, the rice is almost cooked. At this point, you're probably wondering, isn't this called Alaskan chow mein? Where the noodle at? So here comes the last step. We're gonna crumble like a cup of egg noodle. I don't have that, so I'm gonna use a whole packet of instant noodle. The final layer of cheddar, uncovered back in for 10 minutes. Never thought I'd say this, but I prefer the Alaskan chow mein more than the Chinese ones. On a separate note, I never really got the point of chow mein, you know. I feel like noodles just begging for like a bowl of soup to go with it. Why would you stir fry noodles when you have rice to fry? I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 only because I put too much Cajun seasoning into it. You should definitely give it a try. Owen from SoCal is teaching us traditional baked pineapple, a dish that's been passed down from his mom's family. You know what I noticed about these recipes? Everybody's recipe and cooking memories come from their mom's side, or sometimes grandma. Nobody talks about, oh, here's a great recipe from my dad. Are all FutureCanoe subscribers' dad's signature dish evaporated milk? Anyways, we're starting with a can of crushed pineapple, 1 egg, a 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. We'll mix that up, and we're pretty much ready to assemble after this. We'll lay down a couple pieces of bread at the bottom of a baking dish, pour melted butter on top to let it soak in, and half the pineapple egg mixture. Another layer of bread and butter, we'll repeat it. We'll fix the appearance a little bit, bake for 30. You know, it doesn't look that great, but it tastes pretty amazing. It tastes like a tropical custard bread pudding. Considering how easy it was to put together, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Cindy from West Virginia's mountain mama is German, so we're gonna learn some sauerkraut balls. Basically, we just gotta put all these together. Cream cheese, mustard, sausage, oregano, and then we'll have to crush a bunch of saltine crackers to coat it and then deep fry. I'm also gonna put it in the freezer for a while because this looks a little too soft. Gonna have to shut down the frying operation because it is splattering everywhere. I know I butchered the recipe a lot, but all the ingredients still sound good, so let's give it a taste. It's like deep fried ice cream but salty. Yeah, I definitely messed this one up. The sauerkraut. Wait, did I put sauerkraut in it? Tyler's great-grandma used to make these Canadian chocolate coconut macarons. That sounds really good. It's been passed down the family, and they're actually not macarons. In Canada, they call it the fuddle doodle. Like how you guys want to see me fuddle my doodle. Anyways, here's the instruction. I'm gonna improvise a little bit because I have a jar of Nutella over here. So we'll take a cup of oats. I don't want to get started on the oats conspiracy theory. A large scoop of Nutella, mix, mix, mix. Once thorough, we'll form into like a little ball. Coat it all over with the coconut flakes, and that was so easy, bro. I don't need to re-emphasize this, but anything with over 80% Nutella is a 9 out of 10. Sergio is from the Caribbean. Hey, I just came back from there on a boat trip, and this is like a local delicacy called the sorritos. It's a crunchy cornmeal snack. We're gonna have to make the cornmeal first and frying it. A cup of water, half a cup of cornmeal. To make it sweet, we add half a cup of sugar. To make it savory, half a cup of cheese. I don't make choices, so we're gonna do both. Look how stretchy I got after mixing the cheese into it. Then we'll store in a container, chill in the fridge for a couple hours till it takes shape. We'll dump it out, cut it into desirable slices, and start frying. It's one of those things you can only take a look from one side. That was so difficult to fry. It's sweet and a little bit cheesy. I really like the flavor of corn. What a great snack. 9.1 out of 10. This one is a really concise one. Chris from UK, spam, egg, bean, pie. No more needed to say. All the ingredients are gathered straightforwardly. We're just gonna beat the eggs, add the beans, and shred the spam. I feel like we're always shredding spam in one of these videos. We'll combine everything together without destroying too much of the spam because, you know, it's very delicate. Do you think this looks good? Now we'll pour in and flatten out into a pre-made pie crust, and I baked it for about 45 minutes. It looks like a pecan pie, but it cuts like rice and beans. Sweet and salty, maybe a little bit too salty. More eggs and more beans probably be good. It's not the best right here, but I see great potential for this dish. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Okay, we're getting a little too easy, but after this one, the difficulty will be back. Due to the channel analytics, I always include one German recipe, and today we have the potato, carrot, feel-good family mash with sausage, of course. Does not get easier than this. Potato, carrots, boiled, Ligma fork, masher edition, all the way from Japan, received from the PO box, so thank you guys. Sausage pieces, mix that in, and let's give it a taste. You know, it does make me feel good. It's lighter, more aromatic. Boiled carrots is actually good, contrasting pretty well with the sausage. I'll give it an 8.5. A Swedish recipe from Axel Remstedt. His parents named him that just in case people wonder if he's really Swedish. Axel's from a small farming village, only 120 people. Wow. The recipe is a regional special course stroganoff. It gruffly translates to sausage stew. The sausage is called falukorv from a city called Falun in Dalarna. Bro, are you making these places up? Sausage was originally made from animals that worked in the big copper mine in the city. Heavy metal sediments, yum. But now the sausage stuck around as a Swedish tradition. In 1936, it was granted a traditional specialty label by the EU. I feel like the EU just grants everything to everybody except for a big enough budget for Ukraine. Sausage is a mixture of pork, beef, and sometimes veal. What is the replacement of falukorv in America, you ask? Obviously, some beef franks, because there's no problem in life a little hot dog can't solve. In a non-stick pan on medium-high heat, we'll melt 2 tablespoons of butter, saute the onions till they get a little bit of color, and add in the sausage pieces from earlier. I cut it into long strips. It's like a Swedish keto chow mein. Then we'll put in some tomato paste, aka pizza sauce here. Now it's kind of looking like a bunch of worms in a battle of death. Heavy cream and soy sauce. Axel specified that it has to be Japanese soy sauce, which I actually do have. I think PewDiePie puts Japanese soy sauce into his Swedish meatball sauce as well. We'll simmer for a little bit, finish that with a little bit of mustard. Here's our korv stroganoff.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass it like Stockton.
Doesn't that look similar to the picture Axel gave us? Let's give it a taste and rate 1 through 10. I am repeatedly impressed by the combination of heavy cream, tomato, and soy sauce. This is kind of like in between of an Italian tomato ragu and a butter chicken. It's very good. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Swedish people know what's up. Recently, a cute girl from Glutenberg has been informing me on all the amazing inventions that came from Sweden, like fire extinguisher, seatbelt, GPS, Minecraft, Spotify, and most importantly, PewDiePie. Guess I've been sleeping on Sweden all these years. As always, we're gonna do an Indian dessert. This one is from Seth. A cup of milk, half a cup of sugar, quarter cup of butter, and 1 carrot grated. We'll simmer that for 10 minutes and give it a taste. This is such an easy one.
What the hell is even that?
Zuzia from Poland grew up eating vanilla pudding with raspberry syrup. That sounds kind of American. Grandma used to make it regularly, and the packet pudding version is what they use. This is a high effort cooking channel. I'm gonna make the custard from scratch. Following the exact measurements, because we tend to mess up custard a lot on this channel. 2.5 cups of milk, a teaspoon of dessert MSG. I ran out of that, so I'm using the vanilla paste. So it'll be more of a dessert gochujang, a 1/3 cup sugar, and 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. We'll whisk very rigorously because it tends to stick to the bottom. And while it's heating up, we're gonna microwave these raspberries to turn into a jam. We'll pour the mixture into a bowl once it's creamy and thick to let it cool. When I went back to check the raspberry, it exploded. It looks like a hydrogen bomb was dropped in it. In just 2 hours, the custard thickened up with a layer of skin on top. We'll put the jam on top and spread it out evenly. This is giving so much strogomyeon. And when we scoop it, we gotta get all custard, skin, and jam. It tastes like one of those pudding snacks, but less sweet. I think it would be good if I put some cereal on top. I'll give it a 7. Last but not least, we have a Serbian porridge called popara. It's from Grandpa and it's better than it sounds. We're basically taking stale bread and boiling it with milk and cheese. Turn it into a mush. Also, this person's Malika. At this point, you probably have expected I ran out of milk. My dad's still not back. So we're doing a good old round of heavy cream and water. And since it's a traditional Serbian porridge, the 300 grams of feta seems a little unusual. I think what Malika wanted us to get is the Slavic white cheese. And look what I found. Is FutureCanoe going above and beyond or what? I feel like I deserve a medal for this. It crumbles a lot easier than feta and it is so white. I feel like if I put this cheese in my mouth, my teeth are gonna get self-conscious. Colgate doesn't even fix the color. And then we'll tear off a bunch of pieces of bread and just let it simmer for 20 minutes. When it's nice and soft, we'll stir that in a little to make it mushy. We've made chicken porridge, sweet potato porridge. First time on this channel trying cheese porridge. It tastes like the bottom of a yogurt tank. With that being said, that doesn't mean I don't like it though. I think the logic behind this soup is that ideally you want fresh bread, fresh milk, and some nice cheese to go with them. But you went away for a couple days, the bread is stale, the milk is spoiling, and the cheese is kinda annoying, so you throw them into a pot and boil together. That led to the creation of this sour cream tasting soup. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I just want to mention that I did read everybody's submission. Couldn't include all of them, but I really appreciate it. Testing family recipes has always been my favorite series because I can gain insight into you guys' lives and learn about who you are. I feel very honored to be able to do that. Now, today is my first clothing merch drop. Whether or not you make a purchase, I really hope you enjoy the design of them. Alright, thank you.